Welcome to Rathalos Watch. This is the 27th episode of Should X Monster Return to Monster Hunter Wilds. In this episode, I will be discussing the most popular and what is also arguably the most overrated monster in the existence of Monster Hunter, Zinogre. As always, we'll delve into the monster in greater detail, covering its first appearance, overall reception, memorable aspects, visual design, combat style, and ultimately, whether it should return to Monster Hunter Wilds. We'll explore how Capcom could potentially bring back the monster, what they should or shouldn't change, what new interactions they could implement, and how the monster could fit into the next generation of Monster Hunter in terms of mechanics and design philosophies. If you've been enjoying this series or want more hardcore coverage of Monster Hunter Wilds, then don't forget to subscribe and also feel free to join our Discord and speculate about Monster Hunter with passionate fellow hunters. Link is in a pinned comment. Without further ado, let's begin. Zinogre is classified as a fanged wyvern and was introduced in Monster Hunter Portable 3rd, which was a Japanese exclusive title that released back on December 1st, 2010 for the PSP. Later, a PS3 version was also released in Japan on August 25th, 2011. Zinogre has quite the history with the Monster Hunter franchise. Ever since his debut, he's been essentially in every single entry including Monster Hunter Portable 3rd, Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate, Monster Hunter 4, Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate, Monster Hunter Generations, Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate, Monster Hunter World Iceborne, Monster Hunter Rise, and last but not least, Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak. That is a total of 9 different titles spanning across 3 whole generations, and yes, he is supposedly coming to Monster Hunter Wilds as well, but more on that later in the video. He has also made an appearance in Monster Hunter Frontier multiple times, and if that was not enough, he also made an entrance in pretty much every spin-off title known to mankind, including Monster Hunter Online, Monster Hunter Stories 1 and Stories 2, Monster Hunter Spirits, Monster Hunter Riders, Monster Hunter Explore, Monster Hunter Now, Monster Drop Monster Hunter Stories, and recently released Monster Hunter Puzzles Feline Isles. Zinogre is a solitary hunter who's always on the lookout for prey, highly territorial and hyper-aggressive, and will attack on sight. In this video, I'll be covering his Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate version since I do not have access to Portable 3rd and I really haven't gotten to him in Monster Hunter World Iceborne. Zinogre's body is naturally able to conduct electricity, but it can't generate on its own. To power up, it forms a symbiotic relationship with thunderbugs, which provide the electrical energy it needs to exchange for the protection Zinogre offers. Also, when Zinogre is stripped, hunters can harvest bugs from the back using a bug net. Last but not least, Zinogre managed to get first place in the Hunter's Choice Top Monster during Monster Hunter's 20th anniversary, with Nergigante taking second place and Lygaicrus taking the third spot. His theme, Spark of Blue Zinogre of Zinogre, was voted in the top 10 music themes during the 20th anniversary as well. Zinogre can be first encountered in Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate in a 5-star caravan quest Zinogre Zone in the Havens Mountain locale. Zinogre can range from the smallest gold crown size of 1,217.4 centimeters to the largest gold crown size of 2,144.49 centimeters. Hunters can break the horns twice, left claw, right claw, back, and sever the tail. Zinogre possesses a thunder element and is weakest to ice. So what makes Zinogre so special and memorable, and why do people like him so much? That is quite a loaded question. Whether you like Zinogre or not, it is practically impossible to forget about him simply because he has been in so many games and generations consecutively, and I do not believe that is going to stop anytime soon. But that's not the only thing about Zinogre that makes him memorable or nostalgic to a lot of people. First, he is a well-designed fight, has a unique interaction with the thunderbugs, and is essentially the only wolf monster besides Luna Garen from Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak. Although I would argue that Luna Garen is more wolf than Zinogre if you ask me, if you judge them purely by their visual aesthetics. Last but not least, Zinogre's soundtrack just seems to slap, which is another reason why this monster placed so high on the list in the Hunter's Choice. Although I won't lie to you, I'm getting a bit tired of Zinogre personally, but more on that later. Let's discuss his visual style, combat, and then his subspecies. Zinogre is a 4-legged monster with a wolf-like characteristics. It has powerful limbs, sharp claws and fangs. Its body is covered in turquoise scales, white fur, and a tan bone-like spikes with 2 prominent horns on its head. If you take a closer look at its horns and back spikes, you'll notice they're porous, likely to host thunderbugs. When Zinogre is fully charged with electricity, its back spikes and fur stand up, and many parts of its body, especially the bony areas, begin to glow a vibrant blue. Overall, Zinogre is essentially a lightning wolf pup, which kind of adds a lot to his overall vibe. It makes him appealing to a lot of people. While he is a good doggo, he also has a few tricks up his sleeve sleeve when it comes to combat. As previously mentioned, Zinogre has a unique symbiotic relationship with thunderbugs. He is able to summon them from its surroundings to harness their natural electrical power. It stores them within its horns and back spikes, using their energy to charge itself up. However, Zinogre needs to pause its actions to gather this charge, leaving it momentarily vulnerable. Once fully charged, Zinogre's strength and aggression skyrocket, allowing it to enhance its physical attacks with explosive bursts of electricity and lightning. At this point, it can summon bolts of lightning from a distance or unleash electrified clusters of thunderbugs to shock its enemies. However, if Zinogre takes enough damage, the charge can be interrupted, forcing it to act more cautiously while it builds up its power again. There's no other monster in all of Monster Hunter that does anything like this. This gives him a huge edge when it comes to standing out, especially in the combat department. As for his attack moves, they are quite basic. He has a basic charge attack where he just lunges forward at you and rams you with his head. As an angry wolf boy, he will also try to swipe you with claws that also give him a short forward lunge. So even if you are at a distance, you can still get hit, so the best thing is to get away from him entirely. Other times, he might try to side body slam you, can easily be dodged by simply running out of the way. Sometimes, he will send a lightning ball towards your way twice in a row by using his tail. As long as you're not in front of him, you should be okay. He may also attempt to crush you with his tail, so don't spend too much time behind him. On occasion, he also does this very strange side tail whip with his entire body if you are in front of him. Zinogre also has a vibrant subspecies known as Stygian Zinogre. This version of Zinogre retains the same basic structure as the regular one, but with some key differences. It's larger and its color palette shifts to gray, white, and red, what sets it apart is the red energy crackling around it generated by its connection with dragonphage bugs, fulgur bugs that consume dragonfell berries, imbuing Zinogre with dragon energy. As for combat, he is just more juiced up and is far more aggressive and has the potential to combo you more frequently. He utilizes the dragon element over thunder and is actually weak to thunder, unlike regular Zinogre. While charging up, he may also call upon dragon lightning strikes that will protect him from any harm if someone is next to him. So you have to watch your step where you stand. When he is charged up and fully red, he gains access to area of effect attacks as well. Now that we've covered Zinogre and his subspecies variant, we must now ask the question if he is worthy of a return to Monster Hunter Wilds. Regardless of what anyone's opinion is on that particular question, Zinogre will still be coming back time and time again. After all, he is the most popular monster for the reasons I previously stated. However, in my personal opinion, I would not mind if he would sit out for the base game or even the entire generation, but I know for a fact that will not be happening. First of all, it would be a very dumb marketing move for Capcom to not continue with Zinogre, especially with their new flagship entry. One thing that is worth mentioning, however, is that according to the leak that we've discussed earlier, by the way, that you can check out by clicking on the card in the top right corner, Zinogre won't be in the base game of Monster Hunter Wilds. Instead, he will appear as the title update, and if you ask me, that is probably a good thing, because that means other monsters can take his spot for the start of Monster Hunter Wilds. Also, just to be clear, I do not think Zinogre is an amazing monster like most people do. Yeah, I like him, he's cool and all, but I'm just simply a little bit tired of him in every single game. I know some people will never get tired of him, and that's fine. If you want to ask me what monster I will never get tired of and I wish it would be included in every single game, then that would be Congalala. The reality is that everyone has their favorites and biases, and I am not afraid to admit that. Congalala is my biased monster, and it's a monster that I just never get bored of hunting. Just like how there are people who never get bored of hunting Zinogre, and that's totally fine. I will say though, I am excited to see him running around and fighting in the brand new engine. Monster Hunter Wilds visually is an impressive game, so I'm very curious to see what he will look like. However, the one thing I am looking forward to the most when it comes to Zinogre in Wilds is hopefully a turf war between him and Rathalos. If you ask me, I think Rathalos is the better version of Zinogre. Both are electric, but one is able to fly and the other one does not. I can only imagine the battle between these two if Capcom decides to give them one. Last but not least, I am also curious to see how the Thunderbug interaction will be expanded upon in Monster Hunter Wilds with Zinogre. After all, the game is pushing for more of a realistic ecology system, so it would be great to see how Capcom tackles it. In a nutshell, we all know that Zinogre is returning one way or another, but if it was up to me, I'd let him skip a generation, but since I know that will not be happening, I'll have to embrace it and take whatever Capcom brings to the table with a new generation of Zinogre. Do you fellow hunters believe that Zinogre is a good fit and deserves to return to Monster Hunter Wilds? Or would you rather see something completely fresh and new? How do you see him interacting with other monsters? Let me know your thoughts in the comments and tell me which monsters you'd like me to cover in future episodes. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit like and subscribe with notifications turned on. Peace out and happy hunting.